Now, continuing with CEO compensation, this agency problem really has become more of a problem in the last couple of years. Just to go back on a recent case with WeWork, where Adam Neumann was the CEO, and what happened was that once the company decided to go public, they realized that there were some management issues. So he's basically here, he's the manager, he is a CEO, right? And now the company is moving from him being the shareholder, privately held, and SoftBank, which was a more like a private equity fund, to publicly held. So on one way, he's looking to cash in and sell his investment, and so the SoftBank, right? But then the public shareholder comes in and starts looking at the financials, and they start seeing a lot of these issues, they're seeing related party transactions, they're seeing distraction, too many projects that they're working on not related to the core business, they're seeing excess, they're seeing jets that they're buying, real estate that they're buying with company money, and they have a lot of issues about controls, about performance, about incentive. And it looks like to them is a lot of the stuff is actually not taking risk and growing the business. It looks like empire building. He's investing all the wealth of the company in semi-personal type ventures or personal interest and things like that. So this is the agency problem. Now the reason it got fledged out in the case of WeWork is because the ownership structure was changing, and the public shareholder said, hey, I'm not sure I'm going to have a good return on my investment, right? So that's where managers should be working for shareholders. So there's a conflict of interest if the manager are the shareholder, right? And especially if it's only one key executive person. So this has been the problem in terms of CEOs. And this is why there's so much oversight that is needed with board of directors, auditors, lenders, shareholders, and rival companies. There's no doubt that public companies have better governance because they have a stronger board of directors for a public company. Sarbanes-Oxley is in effect. Auditors, there's much more scrutiny with public companies, and there's much more transparency about the reporting. Nobody even knew with WeWork, nobody even knew what these financials looked like because they were private. So once they went public, they filed the S1, people saw this for the first time and they were shocked. So that's why public companies have a much more transparency around at least their finances and their governance, their controls, their audit results, all these kind of things. But we're looking at CEO compensation. This is basically something that's been growing in terms of total compensation. And now people say this is a big issue because there's such a big emphasis on performance. But the key is to mitigate the agency problems using these controls and monitoring techniques, because this actually helps the shareholder to create and sustain value.